wet, 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 wet. Oh, baby.
What is good? You know what? Scratch the intro. I just want to get right into this. So for everybody who's really hitting me up on the DMs, even adding me on Twitter, I appreciate that. You guys have been keeping me updated with everything related to EA Star Wars Battlefront 2. So I got a bunch of articles here, and I'm gonna just sum up everything that's going on. I put it all together, and this is good and this is bad. And I know a lot of you guys are probably want me to hooray the whole situation, but I'm not. And I'm gonna get down to every single thing. So yeah, let's get right to it. So what happened this week? A lot of users reviews that were coming out. People like Angry Joe as well was speaking out. So shout out to Angry Joe and a bunch of other content creators. But shout out to Reddit, because that platform, I did not recognize how big it was. And I never really subscribed my thought process to that website. I know my boy King Dub really invests, time into that site and really, takes part in a lot of, I guess, discussions that go on, but I didn't know how impactful Reddit can be. The users on Reddit really spoke on the issues of what was going down with Star Wars Battlefront 2, how unfair it was to unlock certain characters, certain individuals. Why are certain characters locked? Why is content locked behind a paywall? Why is there a pay-to-win system? Is this gambling? Is it not gambling? They spoke so much about this. I'm reading that over like 600,000 downvotes, or it's like the most downvoted piece of literature in history on Reddit. So it's kind of ridiculous. Like, it's kind of crazy, good and bad. Now, moving forward, EA has updated, throughout the course of this week, some of their microtransaction features, unlock features, the progression system. They've thought or would assume that they have balanced it out enough. They come to find out, we actually found out they changed up the progression, or the earnings, the rewards, to where even though they reduced it by 75%, they reduced the price of some of these characters, but they also reduced the reward system. So then we're back to square one. Moving forward from that point, users started really tackling the part in which they were reading out certain laws in video games, and just certain pieces that I was just like, damn, I didn't even think people was diving that deep into this. And it was about whether or not the loot system is considered gambling. And now that's a big thing. And it became so big that even CNN picked up on this. And it ended up like on their news tech, I think. So shout out to Nick for linking me that, or letting me know that I went ahead and looked that up online. And it is being taken serious across so many different outlets. And of course, given it's a popular topic, it's trending. So of course, outlets that never really talk gaming are speaking on it. And a lot of you guys are probably asking, me, or asking yourselves, why the hell is Star Wars Battlefront 2 even, like, why is this even so big? It's not the fact that it's just a loot system. It's the dedication. This is what I do like about the community. People are such like die-hard fans of Star Wars. You got to be careful what you do, what practices are being made upon certain, genres, certain titles, certain, games, movies, because if it's towards something like Star Wars, that fan base is so damn dedicated. They were not standing for it. This wasn't just any other game. We've seen this happen with Call of Duty and several other titles, but it never reached limits like this before. The volumes in which people spoke is crazy, and that's because the dedication, the dedicated fans of Star Wars fans, or even Star Wars stands, whatever though that meaning is, whatever, spoke on this, really tackled this, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, I wish we had voices like that in other games and stuff like that, because that would really, fix up how, investors or how companies would like to help raise more money and profit more, but in a different space. You know what I'm saying? But I'm rambling on so much, but let's continue now. More now has happened throughout this week. So you also had EA remove the refund button. Apparently they removed the refund button from the Origin app on PC, as far as what I read and from what I saw, leaving players thinking like some scams were going on, where what they did is they removed the refund button, and then the live chat for Origin would take up to 60 minutes. So it basically forces you to just opt out of that whole transaction, and you would just leave your $60 pre-orders there. Another thing that had happened was the fact that they then, with today's situation, they removed the whole microtransaction scene. People went to the PlayStation store and realized that crystals are gone. Now, some people were getting a little bit confused. They did not totally just disregard microtransactions, and they didn't totally disregard crystals. What happened is they put a hold on it, and this is where I'm gonna start reading a few pieces from a couple of sites like Kotaku. It says EA temporarily removes microtransactions from Star Wars Battlefront 2. The only thing I will say is, damn, they went hard into making this possible a day before its official launch worldwide. But I'm gonna read here, in quote, "We hear you loud and clear, so we're turning off all in-game purchases," wrote Oscar Gabrielson, GM of Battlefront 2's developer at DICE, in a blog. He says, "We will now spend more time listening, adjusting, balancing, and tuning. This means that the option to purchase crystals in the game is now offline, and all progression will be earned through gameplay. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date. Only after we've made changes to the game, we'll share more details as we work through this. Previously, you could spend real money on crates and crystals that let you improve your gear and get better at the game. A system that veered dangerously to a pay-to-win waters," which I highly agree to that. Continuing on, it says, "Controversy over Battlefront 2 has been swirling for weeks now, but peaked over the weekend after early access players discovered that the game's heroes could take dozens of hours to unlock, a process you can expedite by spending money to buy loot crates and earn credits. On Monday, EA cut the cost of all heroes, but the damage has been done, and it exacerbated by widespread confusion over whether EA had also cut the number of credits you'd receive by playing the game." So there's more to be said about this whole situation, but they of course reverse courses on this whole loot box controversy, and they now speaking on the whole fact that, you know, fans have revolted, and, you know, however, and reading from another article, after widely circulated posts on Reddit and elsewhere, they suggested the game was balanced in a way that it could take dozens of hours to unlock characters and whatnot. They spoke on it. So another quote that I'm gonna read again, and well, not really read, I'm gonna just, you know, sum it up. They're listening to everyone now, and they're gonna make sure that in the future they listen to everything and they fine tune things. This is the good part, and this is the bad part. The good part is that there was so many voices being heard that it broke. It didn't break like literally on Twitter. It didn't break the system, no, but it literally broke charts as far as when people speak up on something they believe in, whether if it's something right or wrong. And this is forcing EA. Literally, EA cannot continue to put this game out with microtransactions currently in it. They could not force this game to come out in that way. It was that deep that they literally had to remove that whole system. You know what? Let me see. Damn, I'm 7 minutes and 51 seconds in. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. They had to remove the whole microtransaction system and immediately switch up the progression in the game. So hopefully tomorrow or tonight, whenever this game launches, you have access to these characters that are locked. Not saying to have them unlocked, but at least the earnings per match are much greater than what it originally was, which was, I think, 250 max or whatever credits per game. And hopefully it's enough to where it's still fair for those who purchase the game. You know what I mean? Because that's where I was going to come up with the bad part. It would suck that those who still invest their money into this game can't earn anything in a timely manner and in a more appropriate time because they removed this whole system. And it would kind of be messed up if they then froze all that up and the progression is a little bit delayed. But no, as from what I'm reading here, crystals will come back at a later date. They just made the progression. They just made all the unlocks go through the progression system of the game, which I feel personally should have always been the case. For loot cases, I think Overwatch, and this is just because I focus so much on Overwatch, done it like the best. I think cosmetics, if you want to do cosmetics for weapons, cosmetics for characters, maybe rare helmets, think of something that's outside of Star Wars and implemented into Star Wars without having to take away player progression, without having to take away content that could have been used to really force players to engage for a long period of time, creating longevity for the title. And that's what I think they should have done personally. I think allowing, you know, people don't want to say, oh, I don't want them to bring camos into Star Wars weapons. I don't want that. We got to understand it's a video game at the end of the day. They could have just made out with it and just really decided, you know what, we'll bring cosmetics to these weapons, to the player designs, add different tier, you know, outfits to these characters. Add that in the loot cases. Let people grind out for that. You know what I mean? You got to think outside the box. It's crazy. I thought they were going to get away with this. I thought it was going to be okay for them to just put out something like this. And you know what? I'm proud of just everyone who spoke on this. I do not agree with any death threats that were made. Supposedly there was death threats. I don't know if that's accurate, but I don't agree with anything outside of what's just regular people talking and speaking their voice on gaming. Everything else of cursing out devs and whatever that case, I don't condone. But as far as what people speaking out what they do not agree with, and you know what, I'm just proud of the community at this point with Star Wars. That's to tell you the dedication. I don't think EA should feel embarrassed or whatnot. I do kind of feel on one end, what's going to happen with the studio if does Disney get involved, you know, because does that hurt their movie promotions? Would this actually affect them with sales? You know, what's going to happen with Disney? Will they take away the license from EA? Like, I question what's going to happen, because personally, we could think of other developers who would make a better Star Wars game, but Star Wars is such a beautiful game under the Frostbite engine. We can think about studios all day. At the end of the day, it ain't EA who created loot cases. It isn't EA who created the system. So this is across all boards. You've seen what Activision is doing with this damn patent. You have Ubisoft in their systems. All companies have their own way of trying to get money back to pay off investors at a faster rate. But at the end of the day, this has been done, and I don't know what's going to go on. Star Wars is out. I'm not able to get the game. I wish I can get it, y'all, but I'm at a point right now I'm not able to buy this game. I really wish. I don't know. It doesn't even matter at this point which console. Like, I wish I could have gotten it to really break down, do a full review for this game. I think this would have been the perfect game to do a review for you guys, but I'm not capable of copying this game at this moment or buying this game at this current time. But anybody who buys it, you know, you're always welcome to give me, you know, some of the rundowns of what's going on. I would appreciate that. Hopefully I covered what you guys have been, you know, keeping me up to date. But just trying to see if there's anything else. They're saying that the CEO, Andrew Wilson, spoke upon the Disney CEO over the phone, talking about the Battlefront 2 changes were announced. The report doesn't mention what they might have talked about, though the chat of Battlefront 2's loot case seems more likely than the discussing plans. Yeah, you see, so Disney is very much involved, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm glad, you know, the microtransactions to this game is removed right now, but I really hope, you know, we have to now sit back and think, does this affect, you know, early access games on EA Access? Does this affect when they bring out demos? Will they go back to the roots now, and instead of giving us full breakdown games for trials, will they just give us now little mini demos, so that now companies won't be able to let us know off rip whether or not these type of practices are being put in their game? Does it affect that? We don't know yet. So I mean, things good can happen and things that are bad can happen. Will this affect the fact that now we wouldn't be able to get reviews from developers until like the day before? Will there be an embargo date? Will there be now an embargo date where reviews are not allowed to be out until the day after? Remember, Ubisoft did that with like 3 of their games. 2-3 of their games where you wasn't able to put a review out until the day after. So you hear me? So like that's what I'm saying. Will this affect something like that now? Will they bring a season pass to this because they feel now, you know, you guys spoke on it, we had to eliminate almost 60% of what we could have profited off of, and now we're going to bring it back to a season pass? I mean, anything can happen. But listen, it's already almost 14 minutes. I apologize for running my damn mouth. I am not going to edit any of the damn audio on here. I'm throwing this bitch on a video, and we dropping this tonight. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you disagree with anything I said or any changes you suggest, drop it in the comments below. Subscribe if you are new. Like this video, and if you get the game, please let your boy know how the game is, man. I would love to hear. I was really hype about this game, but yeah, I'm out of here. It's your boy 3G. Have a blessed one. Peace.
Yeah, I told you, the weather's cold, we're getting older. Things even change when it gets colder, but we'll move on just like a moment. The sun is sky.